Hey, Gab, it's Christy. Just checking in. Is everybody situated in their team's rooms?
Yes, Banglan is good.
Can we have an affirmation? I can't tell if you're. I just want to double check. We have about 7 minutes. Hold on one moment.
Yes, everyone's set in their room.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining the Citywide Council for District 75's Safety Committee meeting with the FDNY Safety Awareness presentation. My name is Christy Angel. I am the president of the council tonight. We do have interpretation in Mandarin, Bangla, and Spanish. We will go ahead and give the floor over to the interpreters to give their instructions. Mandarin, you now have the floor.
Okay, following message will be in Mandarin. 大家晚上好，今天晚上我们全程是会提供这个国语翻译的。然后需要国语频道的话呢，请拨打347-966-4114，然后输入ID 809-697-098，收听期间请保持静音。再重申一声，是347-966-4114，然后输入ID 809-697-098。Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Spanish, you now have the floor.
Thank you. Bienvenidas, bienvenidos. Para escuchar este evento en español, por favor marcar al número 347-966-4114 con el código 517-689-323. De nuevo es 347-966-4114 con el código 517-689-323 numeral. Por favor, cierren sus micrófonos una vez entren a la llamada. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Bengali, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
Thank you. The following message will be for Bangla participants. শুভ সন্ধ্যা, আপনারা যারা আজকে অনুষ্ঠানটি শুনছেন এবং বাংলা শুনতে চান সেক্ষেত্রে আপনাদের ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114 এবং ফার্স্ট আইডি চালিয়ে দেবেন 914-639-017#। আমি আবার বলছি, ফোন নাম্বারটি হবে 347-966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি চাইলে দিবেন 914-639-017#। আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন যদি না থাকে অনুগ্রহ করে মিউট করে রাখবেন। প্রশ্ন যদি থাকে আমাদেরকে ফোন লাইনের প্রশ্ন দিয়ে করতে পারেন। ধন্যবাদ। থ্যাংক ইউ। বাংলা announcement complete.
Thank you so much. I will now hand it over to Chair of the Committee, Second Vice President, Chair Bonilla.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today we will be having a presentation with FDNY. Captain Gerald Rocco will be presenting for us. Thank you for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie, and thank you all for putting this together, and thank you all for being here. I'm Captain Jerry Rocco with Fire Safety Education. We work out of Fort Totten, Queens. We need to get to people to educate them, to teach them the do's and the don'ts. We have educators that have worked throughout the city and who have seen many, many things, experienced many, many different things. Fire duty is up. We are very, very busy, especially this time of year, and especially with the holidays. Unfortunately, the holidays tend to be very busy and very tragic for many different reasons. In fact, we had a fourth alarm fire, which is a very big fire last night, Humboldt Street in Brooklyn. And we had 3 house fires. Okay, so we want to try to keep the numbers down. Unfortunately, we had many fatalities this year. We're here to educate. We want to teach people how to survive a fire, how to prevent the fire. Many, many people survive fires because they know what to do and they know what not to do. And unfortunately, we have many people that do not survive. Perhaps they did the wrong thing, perhaps they didn't know what to do, or perhaps it was just fate. Right, so let's try to keep the numbers down. Once again, historically, this is a busy time of year. A lot of it has to do with the cooking, the space heaters, the holidays. We have a lot of people like to celebrate with some drink, maybe some wine, some beer. When we're drinking, we tend to let our guard down. We tend to become careless with the cooking. We become careless with the cigarettes. We become careless in general. Right, so we want to make things a little better for all, protect ourselves and protect our families. This time of year, we're all cooking, we're all celebrating, we're feeding our friends, we're feeding our families. The kitchen is always the number or the most likely room for you to have a fire, but especially this time of year. right? The kitchen has a lot to do with it, but still, the number one cause of fatal fires is careless smoking, right? In fact, the first two fatal fires of the year were careless smoking. The first one was Lower East Side, a woman smoking in bed, set the place on fire. She did not survive. I believe it might have been 2 months after that, a gentleman in Midtown carelessly threw a cigarette into the wastebasket before it was extinguished, set the place on fire. He did not survive. If you are a smoker, please smoke outside. That's going to be the safest thing, right? Smoke outside. If you're not smoking outside, do not smoke when you're medicated. Do not smoke when you are sleepy. Do not smoke when you might be drinking too much, right? Some people never smoke until they're drinking. It kind of goes hand in hand for a lot of people. And this time of year, we have a lot of celebrating that people, some need to celebrate with some liquor, some alcohol. They tend to smoke, and we have big issues. Be extra careful with those cigarettes. Make sure that they are extinguished. Put them out in water. Okay, a cigarette butt can smolder for up to 2 hours, so just be aware of that. Other big issues, especially this time of year, people and their candles. A lot of people like live candles. Still quite a few fires with the candles. If you do use a live candle, do not leave it burning while you are sleeping. Do not leave it burning when you leave the house. Absolutely extinguish that cigarette. The candle. Make sure that it is out. And we highly recommend the battery operated candles. Nowadays, they look pretty good. They smell good. The bottom line, are they a whole lot safer? So if you are a candle user, consider using the battery operated candle. And once again, the cooking, big issues, right? This time of year, we're constantly cooking, constantly feeding our family and friends, entertaining. And that does include some wine, some beer sometimes. Be extra careful. Many people forget their cooking. That's the big issue throughout the year, but especially this time of year, right? Do not forget your cooking. Set a reminder. Set your timer on a cell phone. Set your timer on a microwave. Set a regular timer. Wear that oven mitt, right? Wear that oven mitt. It's going to remind you that you're cooking. Wear that apron. It's going to remind you that you're cooking. You can't forget your cooking. Many people, they disappear for what they think will be 2 minutes to say hello next door. And 20 minutes later, they're still next door. All right. They come back, they have a grease fire. What do we not put on a grease fire? Absolutely no water on a grease fire. You're guaranteed to make things a whole lot worse. Good chance you will burn yourself. Good chance you will burn down your place. No water on a grease fire. When you have a grease fire, the first thing we want to do, of course, is to shut down that stove. Shut it down. We're going to move the pan to the cool burner. That's as far as it goes. All right. Many people want to move it from the stovetop. That's a mistake. They drop it on the floor. The place is on fire. Things go wrong, right? We don't move fire. That would be the furthest we move it. Keep it on the stovetop. The stovetop is meant to be hot. Cover it with a tight fitting lid and let it burn itself out. Leave it a good 15 minutes. If you inspect it too soon, say if you inspect it within 5 minutes, you're going to reintroduce that oxygen to that smoldering fire. It's going to light up in your face. Leave that on a good 15 minutes. Make sure it stops burning. Okay. If you don't have that tight fitting lid or cover, baking soda works very well. Baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Where do we find this? We find this inside the extinguisher. Okay. Baking soda works great on fires. If you don't have that cover, sprinkle that baking soda on that fire. It's going to work very, very well. Keep one next to the stove. Give it a shake once in a while. It's a powder. You want it to remain like a powder. Keep the stove clean. Keep it clear. Make sure nothing's going to catch fire. Better than the baking soda, of course, would be a fire extinguisher. Everybody should have at least one. If you have a house, have one on each level. And these are good for about 10 years. You could get at Home Depot, Target, you get on Amazon. About $35, it lasts you 10 years. Money well spent. Make sure you know how to store it. And when I say store it properly, that's not underneath the sink with the cleaners and the dish rags. You need it. You can't find it. Have it mounted on a wall out of reach of the little ones. Have it at the entrance, right? You don't want this in the corner of the kitchen where you have to run past the flaming stove to get to it. It should be at the entrance to that the kitchen or any other room, all right? And know how to use it. Many people have them. They don't know how to use it. We say pass, P-A-S-S, pass, pin. You have to pull a pin. If you don't pull a pin out, you cannot depress the trigger. So that's the first thing. We're going to pull a pin, and then we're going to aim it at the base of the fire, okay? Many people want to aim it at flames. That's not going to do anything. We aim it low at the base of the fire. We squeeze the trigger, and we sweep it back and forth. Pass. Pull a pin, aim it low, squeeze it, sweep it back and forth, expel the whole extinguisher. Great tool. Make sure you have at least one. Make sure you know how to use it. ABC is the one you want. ABC is good on all fires, right? Of course, because we don't want to use a water extinguisher on a grease fire. We don't want to use a water extinguisher on an electrical fire. Get an ABC extinguisher. Make sure you know how to use it. Other kitchen emergencies, people are home, they're wearing loose clothes, they want to be comfortable while they're cooking. The apron's in the flames, the sleeves are in the flames, their clothes are on fire. People's instinct is to run. They want to run for help. That could be a big mistake. When you run, you are fanning those flames. You're making things a whole lot worse. You are feeding that fire oxygen that it craves. Do not run. Rip it off as quickly as possible, if possible. And if not, we're going to drop to the ground and roll around. Stop, drop, and roll, just like we tell the kids. Put the flames out, and one thing goes on a burn. That is the only thing. Pour water. Stop the burning immediately. If it's that bad, we're going to call 911, and EMS will be there to render assistance. Other kitchen emergencies is natural gas. Natural gas smells like rotten eggs. Does not smell good. If you smell what you believe might be natural gas, you're not sure, do not hesitate. Do not take a chance. Do not worry about bothering the fire department or bothering anyone else. It's very important that you call immediately. You may smell a little bit, you're not sure, but possibly it's not coming from your upper floor apartment. It could be coming from the basement, and the natural gas travels up through the voids in the walls, through the pipe chases, and it might be in a basement going up to the 5th floor. By the time it hits your nose on the 5th floor, that odor has dissipated, does not smell like much, but meanwhile, downstairs, it's getting ready to blow. Okay, so we do not hesitate. You think you smell natural gas, we call from outside that explosive atmosphere. Okay, do not make the phone call from where that gas leak is. And we do not call a super and leave a message. We're not calling Con Edison and being on hold for 20 minutes, because when you call Con Ed and you're on hold for 20 minutes, as soon as you tell them you have a gas leak, Con Ed calls 911. So what you do is you call 911 immediately from outside that explosive atmosphere. We're not going to touch any light switches. We're not going to touch anything electrical, because that can possibly trigger an explosion, right? Beware of that. Smells like rotten eggs. Do not hesitate when you smell it. All the issues, we have a lot of electrical fires, especially this time of year with the power strips and the extension cords. It's a problem all the time, but maybe more so now because we have all the lights and the extension cords and the power strips. Always buy quality products. If you get it at the dollar store, there might be something wrong with it. That's why it's there. Buy quality products. And we don't do this. We call this piggybacking. Okay, we see this a lot. This is definitely a no-no, piggybacking. And we had a gentleman did this in Harlem. And what he also did is we say, we do not use these for anything that makes hot, which would be my space heater, an electric blanket, a microwave oven, a toaster oven. No power strips, no extension cords. Nor do we use these for anything that makes cold. Refrigerator, air conditioner, no power strips, no extension cords. When we use these, they melt, they go on fire. Anything that makes hot or cold needs to go directly into the wall. Plug it directly into the outlet. Okay, so we don't do this. Once again, piggybacking. We had a gentleman, probably, I believe it might have been April, over in Harlem. He did exactly this, which is a no-no. And then he did something else. He plugged his freezer into the extension cord, set his place on fire. He did not survive. Okay, so nothing hot, nothing cold. Always buy quality products. It should have the UL listing, which means it has been inspected. It should be a quality product. And don't just bury this power strip underneath your bed, underneath your desk, and never look at it. You want to keep it clean. You're cleaning the house, you're vacuuming, pull it out. Make sure it's not changing colors. Make sure it's not changing shape. Make sure the cats and the dogs aren't chewing on this. This is plastic and it's sweet. The animals love to chew this. They damage it. It goes on fire. Okay, so give it a good looking at once a month when you're cleaning up or whatever, once a week. Make sure this is not going to pose a problem. This is a power strip, which is good this time of year. Most of you probably use it with the Christmas lights, the LED lights, which should be fine, right? But once again, we don't want to overload it. We want to put as few things into this as possible. You know, just because it has 6 outlets does not mean we need to plug 6 things into it, right? Plug in what you need. If you don't need something plugged in, don't plug it in. Okay, very important. These are electrical issues we have control over a little bit. Other electrical issues could be the wiring inside the wall. We don't know what's inside the wall. You have what you think is a brand new apartment. They recently renovated. The place looks great. You have a new bathroom. You get a lot of compliments. But what is behind those walls? Did the owner spend the money to update the electric? There's a good chance he might not have. It's very costly. He said, "No, what? I'm not going to fix what's not broken. I'm going to cover everything up. I don't really care. I don't live there." Unfortunately, that's what happens, right? So you may have old wine behind those beautiful walls, or maybe the owner did spend the money, but he didn't spend the money on a licensed electrician. He might have used somebody who was unlicensed, someone who does shoddy workmanship. Right? There could be a problem. My advice: if you smell something burning, guaranteed something is burning somewhere. Do not hesitate. Try to see what's going on. If you can, we're going to call the FDNY right away. Call 911, get the troops over there. Nowadays, we don't have to rip your place apart. Those are the old days where people didn't want to invite us over. Nowadays, we have thermal imaging cameras. We could check your walls with a camera and look inside and find the hot spots and the problematic spots and open up that area. So we don't have to go in there and rip up your whole apartment. I know a lot of people didn't want that. Right. Other issues, we had a lot about the e-bikes. E-bikes, it's an issue. You know, we have quite a few e-bikes and they are explosive. We've had a lot of issues, but it's not just the e-bikes. It could be anything with a lithium battery, which includes a cell phone. Do cell phones go on fire? Absolutely. Is it a big, big issue? Absolutely not. But it could be an issue, right? Same thing with laptops. Look at this. This is a coworker whose tablet blew up. Right? Thank God he was home. It started sparking, it popped, and this is what happened to it. Okay, so this is a reality. Thankfully, he was home and he could unplug it. We have lithium batteries in laptop computers. We have them in cordless vacuums. We have them in cordless drills. Anything that has a rechargeable battery, there is potential for that to go on fire. Something as small as a vape pen. Right? We had a vape pen on an airplane in the overhead bin. A little vape pen caused a fire on the airplane. Fortunately, they had a retired fireman on that flight that actually extinguished the fire. Okay, so it's not just the e-bikes, it's anything with a battery that is being charged. My advice is, whatever you are charging, do not charge it while you are not at home. Do not charge it while you are not awake. If it starts smoking, you're not going to see it. If it starts burning, you're not going to smell it. Okay, absolutely have your cell phone charged. Have it by your nightstand, but never charge it overnight. Get it fully charged. Keep it at your nightstand unplugged. Make sure you have it, you know, in case there is an emergency overnight, whether it be a fire or medical or otherwise. Have that cell phone charged and charge everything while you are aware, while you are awake. I'm going to speak about a fire that was up in the Bronx. And this January, I believe it's January 9th, will be the 4th anniversary, where we lost 17 people. I'll speak about the facts. You know, some things went wrong and we want to learn. You know, a lot of people don't like to talk about it. But if anything went wrong, we want to learn from what went wrong and we want to prevent that from happening again. That fire started with a space heater. That is a fact. Not exactly sure why it started the fire, but space heaters, they're great, but make sure it's a quality product. Make sure it's not plugged into a power strip, right? This does not go into the power strip because it makes hot. Make sure the space heater is 3 feet away from everything. All right, if it's too close, it could set things on fire. Keep it 3 feet away from everything. Use the space heater. Get your room warm. Before you go to bed, unplug it. Okay, shutting it off is not enough for me. I like to see the thing unplugged after you get the room warm. Grab a blanket, go to bed. Do not keep this plugged in overnight. All right, that's how that fire started. Like I said, that is the fact, but I don't know exactly why it started the fire, but it did start the fire. That was the first problem. Problem number 2. Smoke alarms. It's a big building with many units. Many smoke alarms activated. This is documented that many alarms were ignored because it was not their alarm. So people said, it's not my alarm, it's someone else's problem. Well, so they thought. Other people's problems become our problems very quickly, as we know. So when these alarms are ignored, the fire grows. In fact, it doubles in size every 30 seconds. It gets twice as big. That's quickly, right? So these alarms, not saying everyone ignored them, but there is documentation that people did ignore the alarms and the fire got big very, very quickly. That was the second problem. Problem number 3, the door for that fire department was in the open position. That is the fact. But heard different things, heard the door was broken. or the door was chocked open, doesn't matter at this point, but the door was in the open position. When you have a fire, we need to close that door immediately. Close the door that's going to contain a fire. Get out and close the door. Fire's in your bedroom, get out, close the door. Fire's in your apartment, get out, close the door. Closed doors stop the advancement of fire and the toxic gases and that smoke, right? We want to contain it to that apartment. We want to slow it down so the fire department has time to get up there with a hose line and get some water on that fire. Always close the door. That did not happen at this fire. The door was in the open position for whatever reason. And all the smoke, the toxic gases, the fire exited that fire department, entered the hallways and the stairwells. Okay, that was problem number 3. Problem number 4 was a big one. That building up there that I speak of is a fireproof building. In a fireproof building, the only time you leave your apartment is when the fire is in your apartment. Okay, in a fireproof building, if the fire is next to you, you stay where you are. In a fireproof building, if the fire is beneath you, you stay where you are. A fireproof building is made of concrete and steel. It is very difficult for fire to travel throughout a fireproof building. Okay, so the only time you leave is when the fire is in your apartment. Many people in that building, and that's a fireproof building, many people left the safety of their fireproof apartments and ventured down the stairwell to exit the building. And in a scenario like that, the stairwell becomes a chimney. The smoke, the gases, everything comes out of the fire department, goes up the stairwell and exits the roof. These people came down the chimney. These people did not survive, 17 of them. All it takes is 2 breaths of that smoke, 2 good deep breaths of that smoke. You go to the ground and you don't get up. Okay. So non-fireproof building, completely different. Non-fireproof building in general is going to be 6 stories or less. You will see fire escapes. You might see fire doors. A private home will also be non-fireproof. In a non-fireproof building, it does not matter where the fire is. Fire travels very, very quickly. It could go from the basement to the roof within minutes. In a fireproof building, no matter where the fire is, you get out immediately. We go back for nothing. Always have a safe meeting place outside your home. Could be the neighbor's house, the big tree, the telephone pole, the mailbox. A safe meeting place where you will meet your loved ones. Many people get out of a burning building and they don't see their kids, their husband, their wife. And what do? They run back into the burning building looking for someone who may have already exited via a back door or a side window, right? And that first person is not afforded a second chance of survival. Okay, so once you're out of a building, you do not go back in. You have your safe meeting place. You go there. You don't see your loved ones. You let the firemen know. Okay, we have the training. We have the tools, the equipment we need to go in there for the rescue. That is how you help them. Stay there. Let the firemen know. My mother's inside. I don't know where my husband is, whatever it is, but you do not venture back in. Many people, once again, have gone into the building looking for someone who is not in there, and they do not survive that fire. Okay, so the big thing this time of year, of course, starts with the heaters. Once we start getting cold, right, the heaters come out. The regular burners come out. Faulty burners, big problem. And then the holidays, once again, a lot of it has to do with careless smoking, careless cooking, a lot of that going on. So we have a lot of issues. Overlight outlets with the holiday decorations. We have the Christmas trees. Some of us still have the live Christmas trees. They look great. They smell great. They are very, very flammable, especially as they get older, especially as they get dried out. If you use a live tree, absolutely give it water every day. Make sure that thing is always watered. As soon as it gets a little dried out, do not hesitate to throw it out, right? Because they are highly flammable. If you look on a video, see what a burning Christmas tree looks like. Some of my worst fires have been to homes where the Christmas tree went on fire, and it's just, a tragedy. It's always a tragedy, but especially, around the holidays. So be extra careful with that. Look out for each other. Always have a plan. Have a plan for your home. Have a plan for your sister's home if you're going to stay with her. Have a plan for that hotel where you're vacationing. Are you in a fireproof hotel or are you in a non-fireproof motel? Know the difference. If you're not sure what kind of building you're living in, talk to your super, talk to your owner, find out. All right. Some buildings will have a certificate of occupancy in the lobby that'll tell you fireproof or non-fireproof. If you still don't know, go to call 311. They'll lead you to the building's website. Throw in your address, and that'll tell you what kind of building you are living in. always make sure you know, and always have that plan. Let's prevent what we can. We can't prevent every fire, right? If you smoke in bed, that's a fire you could prevent. If your neighbor smokes in bed, we have no control over what our neighbors do. But we can always have a plan, and we always can practice that plan, especially with the kids. The kids, they all do fire drills in school. Not many of them do fire drills at home, and it's very important that they do, right? So do that with the kids, have that plan, practice that plan. Carbon monoxide, that's why we have these alarms, right? Carbon monoxide, the silent killer, comes from heaters, especially this time of year. We have a lot of carbon monoxide incidents. Carbon monoxide comes from the heaters, comes from the stove, comes from car exhaust. The silent killer, we don't see it, we don't smell it, we don't taste it. It makes you maybe a little dizzy, may make you a little queasy. You go to sleep and you don't wake up. You have to have carbon monoxide alarms, one on each level, smoke alarms in each bedroom. Okay, why do we have alarms? Because when we go to sleep and nose goes to sleep, people think we're going to smell smoke and we're going to wake up. Just the opposite. You're going to smell that smoke, you're going to breathe that smoke, you're going to go into deeper sleep, and then before you know it, you're no longer sleeping, you're dying. All right, so we have to have these alarms, smoke alarm in each bedroom, carbon monoxide alarm on each level, the silent killer. My friend had two independent alarms, carbon monoxide alarms, one in her living room, one in just outside her bedroom. They do their job. They wake her up 1:30 in the morning. Both alarms sound at the same time. They are independent of each other. Some alarms are interconnected. If one goes off, they all go off. Hers were independent. Both alarms activate 1:30 in the morning. My friend gets up. She opens the door. She sees nothing outside her bedroom. She smells nothing. She tastes nothing. What does my friend do? She rips one down, tries to shut it off. She couldn't, puts it in a freezer so she doesn't have to listen to it. Goes to the second one, can't shut that one down. She throws it outside so she doesn't have to listen to it. And she goes back to bed. And fortunately, she did wake up, but she woke up with carbon monoxide poisoning. There was CO in her apartment, carbon monoxide coming from her neighbor's burner. Okay, so it's not enough just to have these alarms. You have to know what to do, know how to respond to these alarms, right? A good alarm is about $35. They last you 10 years now. If you are changing batteries, your alarm is too old. The only people that should be changing batteries are those who have a hardwired alarm. If your alarm is hooked up to the electrical system, you will have a battery as a backup in case power fails. Anybody else should have the 10-year alarm. It's a 10-year alarm. It's a 10-year battery. You can no longer pull a battery out. The battery is sealed in there. The problem was people had the alarms up. They would burn their food, they'd pull a battery out, and they'd never go back in. All right, so these batteries has a 10-year battery. We test them once a month. Okay, we test them by pushing this button. And this is our alarm. Beeps 3 times. 3 beeps. It does that twice. And we know our alarm is good. Okay, once again, about $35, lasts you 10 years, money well spent. We had a fire, I believe it was in May of this year. We had 15 people living in Jamaica, Queens, 15 people living in one house. How many smoke alarms did that household have? They had a big fat 0. We lost 3 people in that house. We are lucky we did not lose more. 60% of the people that die in fires do not have a working smoke alarm. Some people don't have anything up there because they believe they're too educated, the house is new, they're too clean, it happens in bad neighborhoods. I hear some really silly reasons, right? But they don't have them up there at all. Other people have it up there, they know that it's bad, and they're going to replace it tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes, right? Other people have it up there, they think it's good, but they haven't tested it in 2 years. Once again, we test these once a month. We have to make sure they're working, right? So make sure you have enough alarms. Make sure you know how to respond to them. Have that plan, practice that plan, especially with the young ones. If you do need alarms, the Red Cross works in conjunction with the FDNY. They will come to your house, they will see what you need, and they will install what you need absolutely free. No charge for the alarms, no charge for the installation, done professionally. Great program. They do all excluding NYCHA. New York City Housing takes care of their own, so we don't do NYCHA. Within city limits, the FDNY works with the Red Cross, and the Red Cross works outside of city limits, upstate and Long Island and elsewhere. Without the FDNY, they will install these alarms for free. All you have to do is call the number 877 Red Cross, 877 Red Cross, which translates to 877-733-2767. 877-733-2767. Great program. Make sure you have these alarms. Make sure you have enough. Make sure you test them once a month. Make sure you know what to do when it activates. Very important. So thank you all for your time, and I'm open for any questions that anyone may have.
I have a question.
Yes.
I live in Nitro, and I have 5 alarms throughout the house. We had
Okay.
a gas leak, but we didn't know we had a gas leak. It just happened to be the neighbor downstairs called, and
Okay.
then Paul Edison knocked on the door, and they came and tested it. And sure enough, all the floors on the E line was affected by it, but not one smoke alarm ever went off.
Okay, so natural gas is different from smoke, of course. Natural gas is not going to set off a smoke alarm. Natural gas will not set off a carbon monoxide alarm. For natural gas, you have to have a natural gas alarm. It's totally different. People think that it's carbon monoxide, that it's going to set this off. It doesn't. NYCHA has to provide you with a natural gas alarm, and everybody should have at least one, right? Because it's highly explosive. You have to know it's there. With COVID, we had a lot of people lost their sense of smell. A lot of people, they cannot smell like they used to be able to, they had a good sense of smell. They don't so much anymore because of COVID. And for that reason, we definitely need those natural gas alarms. Make sure you contact Housing. Make sure you get it. Unfortunately, the Red Cross, the FDNY do not provide the free alarms. Con was providing them for free at one time. They did stop. You can contact them. Possibly they can help you with the free alarms. But living in NYCHA is obligated to get you that natural gas alarm.
So they
Make sure you
told
get
me
one.
they told me that that alarm is a 3-in-1.
I'm not familiar with a 3-in-1. That may be something new. So possible. I'll have to check that out. I have not seen a 3-in-1 alarm yet.
Okay.
But why didn't it go off? It's a 3-in-1 alarm. Why
That's
didn't it
what
activate?
I asked them that too, because technically the gas leak happened around 12 in the morning. Normally
Yeah.
we would have been asleep.
I
It
have
just
I have yet to see a 3-in-1 alarm that includes gas. That
okay, so they
once
lied to
again,
me.
maybe something new that I'm not aware of, but I highly doubt it. I would just have a natural gas alarm
Okay.
and talk to them about that. And guess what? We want things done properly. We want things. It's nice to get something for free, but the bottom line is we have to look out for ourselves. A lot of people aren't going to look out for us. It's cheap enough. Once again, I always hear people say, well, I'm waiting for my landlord, which he's not obligated to have one after you're in the apartment, or I'm waiting for the free program. It's nice. We all love it. But the bottom line is an alarm like this and natural gas also, it's $35. Over 10 years, it lasts 10 years. It's
First day.
$3.50 a year. It's a penny a day. And once again, 60% of the people that die don't have these alarms. Yes, it's nice to have somebody give it to you, but be proactive, look out for yourselves and your family, spend the money. I know initially it may sound like a lot, $35, but once again, if we do the math, $3.50 a year, a penny a day, this may save your life. Make sure you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have one. So my super had installed. He said it was a alarm, but it was a carbon monoxide alarm as well. Like it was, one of those, like she said, a 3-in-1 type alarm.
Okay, probably a 2-in-1. Once
Right,
again, I have not seen that. It's probably a
right.
carbon
That's what I'm
monoxide and
thinking.
smoke.
Right. So when he installed it for like a whole week at the same time that you mentioned that your friend 1:30 it kept going off. 5:30 kept going off. So I had called him and he checked and there was nothing. So and he just opened it out of the packaging.
Yeah. So
Um
these alarms are very good, but of course, just like anything else, some are defective. And I have seen a small handful of defective alarms out of the thousands and upon thousands that we have installed. And most recently, we had a new alarm, a different design that we've had a couple of problems already with, which I'm surprised. And we have to keep our eye on it and make sure they're going to work.
So
But
the alarm that I
once
had
again,
was
it could be brand new. These alarms go off for many reasons, right? You could have steam from the shower set it off. We've had bugs nest inside the alarms and set the alarms off. We have spray cleaners, household cleansers. If you spray it too close, it's going to set it off. So other things other than smoke could set it off. Just be aware of that, but never take a chance. If you think it's defective, do not take a chance. Get a new alarm. Very, very
okay.
okay.
All right, thank you.
You got it. Anybody else?
Hi, I saw a parent in the chat. This is Council Member Rivera with CCD 75. I saw a parent, Alex Calderon, that asked in the chat, what are the best fire extinguishers and best places to keep them in an apartment?
Okay, so we cannot promote anything, but I will tell you this is a kidda. All right, very common, very popular, been around for a long time, as well as the alarms. So, but best is ABC. Once again, ABC extinguisher is good on all fires. ABC is good on grease fires. It's good on electrical fires. It's good on combustibles, which would be furniture, clothing, and what have you. You're looking for an ABC extinguisher, and once again, have it mounted on a wall near the entrance to that room. Okay, keep it out of reach of the little ones. It's fairly heavy. They can get hurt with it. Keep it out of their reach. Keep it at the entrance to that kitchen or that boiler room or wherever you may need it. Once again, you have a whole house. Make sure you have one on each floor.
Thank you so much, Mr.
You
Rocco.
got it.
And I'd like to ask a question for myself.
Sure.
Well, also, thank you so much. We're so grateful to have you on and very honored.
My pleasure.
Thank you. So yes, my question, so I've actually heard, like I guess maintenance people or, you have different people that come and install these things sometimes in your building or apartment. I don't know. I've heard people say that, and I don't know if this is really a thing or not, but someone told me that I guess if you have like a standalone CO detector, someone was telling me that those are better, I guess, when you place them like on the wall. Because someone was telling me, oh yeah, because smoke rises. So that's why they, of course, right, they put the fire alarms on the ceiling. They said, but the CO, I don't know if that's a thing, but they were saying something of that it stays low. So they were saying
Okay.
something of the nature that
So,
it's best to have it at level, whatever that
yeah.
meant.
Years ago, they had the carbon monoxide meter that would plug directly into the outlet, which of course is a little bit off the floor level. But the combination alarms, carbon monoxide and smoke, we want to see them on the ceiling. Okay, you want to see them 4 inches, at least 4 inches, no more than 4 inches off the corner of the wall. We should be at least 4 inches off. And if you do need to put it on a wall for whatever reason, it shouldn't be more than 18 inches from the ceiling. But carbon monoxide is heavier than air. So yes, carbon monoxide falls down near the ground, but at room temperature, it equalizes. So in a room temperature, that carbon monoxide is going to equalize throughout the whole room. And the carbon monoxide alarm is effective on the ceiling for that reason. Right. But the old days, yes, they were lower. They were plugged into the outlet.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm like, is that still a thing or that's really and another thing, I've also heard, right, again, hearsay, I've heard people say that they have detectors just for like cigarette smoking or something like that. Are there any like to date fire extinguishers that can distinguish the differences? Right. And the reason why I asked that is
No.
because no. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because an issue that I have personally in my apartment is sometimes, and I live on the second floor, sometimes when there's cigarette smoking outside or the neighbors, my alarm trips. I had such an awful experience. I have ADT and I had to disable my fire alarms in the home because I
Not
had
good.
it trip a couple times over cigarette smoke to the degree where they busted the lock in my lobby.
Yeah.
At like 1 o'clock in the morning, I had to wake up, erupt, and run down to meet the fire department.
Yeah, not good, but the bottom line is we have to err on the side of safety. So if we have a ringing alarm, we do have to investigate it. An alarm is not going to distinguish between what smoke is what, whether it be smoke from a candle or smoke from a fire or smoke from a cigarette. It does not distinguish, right? Certain smokes will activate it quicker, right? Especially if there's probably something plastic burning that's going to produce a lot of smoke quickly. So that'll trigger it quickly. But the alarms do not distinguish one smoke from another. So
Thank you so much for that. I found that so insightful. Thank you.
you got it.
I have a question. Another one.
Sure.
Are you supposed to put one in the kitchen?
Not in the kitchen, right? If it's in the kitchen, it's going to become a nuisance. So the fire department used to go to events and would hand people smoke alarms, right? And what would people do? They would put it in their kitchen. Now, every time they cook, the alarm activates. They think it's defective. They think, it's a nuisance, of course, but mostly they think it's defective, rip it down and throw out a perfectly good alarm. Alarms do not belong in the kitchen. It should be close to the kitchen, but definitely not in the kitchen because it's going to become a nuisance. It's going to go off when every time you cook, and then it's not effective. Keep it just outside of the kitchen. One smoke alarm in each bedroom, carbon monoxide combination alarm on each level, away from the kitchen, away from the oil burner, gas burner, away from the bathroom. Steam will activate these, so keep it away from the bathroom. Many people shower with the door open. They live alone, whatever. We've had many showers trigger the alarm, so just be aware of that. But definitely not in the kitchen. Close by, not in.
Thank
Right?
you.
And even every time you cook, and even this time of year, it's cold out, crack that window, get some fresh air in there. When you turn on your stove, when you turn on your oven, you are producing carbon monoxide. It is an acceptable amount. But when people take their stove and all of a sudden they use it to heat the apartment, and it's on for 6-7 days, that's an issue because that carbon monoxide is building up. The windows are closed because it's winter. All right. Do not heat your house with the stove. Very dangerous. But you're cooking a little something, crack that window, get some fresh air in there. Always a good idea. Any other questions?
Vice President Bonilla, do you have any other follow-ups? Do we want to check in with the language lines to make sure that there are no questions on that end?
Okay.
Can we check in with Spanish, Mandarin, and Bengali to make sure we do not have any questions?
We have no question in the Spanish line.
No questions on the Mandarin line.
No question on Bangla line as well.
Thank you so much. I want to add back in, guys. Second Vice President Chair Bonilla has done an excellent job. Thank you, council members, for jumping in. As well, we do have a link to our council's website, ccd75.org/safety. Gabrielle, if you could put that link back into the chat again, this will allow you to stay in touch with the council to receive very specific information that came from this presentation. In addition, this meeting is being recorded and it will be on CCD 75 Outreach on YouTube. So please do stay tuned for that. I know that we have a lot of holidays coming up, a lot of festivities, so we do want you guys to stay safe. Back to you. Are you able to unmute? If not, let's just double check in the chat. Do we have any additional questions from Mr. Rocco, who has graciously come here and given his time for this presentation? We definitely appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I do not see any additional questions in the chat. For the sake of time, our next meeting will be on January 7th at 6:30 p.m. Please do log on ccd75.org to get access to register and or get additional information about the meeting. We will have that on our social media and website, so you can use the QR code and sign up as well. And I don't remember, Gabby, do you remember when our next safety meeting is so that we may add that to this recording? Do we know offhand? If not, we will make sure when we send out this recording and information. This says the 22nd of January, 2/22, is that right? Or is somebody giving me a
January
fancy code?
29th. January 29th. I'm going to put the link.
January 29th will be our next safety committee meeting. We do want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us tonight. I don't want to prematurely end the meeting, but I do see no further questions. However, if there was a question that you did not get answered tonight, please do reach out to D75Council at schools.nyc.gov. Mr. Rocco, did you put your information in the chat as well, or we'll be able to share that information?
Share the information as far as my number, or
as far as your email contact information,
sure.
if people do want to contact you outside.
Yeah. So if anyone needs us for their event, once again, we go to schools, senior centers, anywhere there are people, we have to get there, educate them, teach them the do's and the don'ts. So let's see what we got. Let me give you the number for our office. Give us a call. We'll be happy to come and do your event.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'll check in. Chair Bonilla, are you still available? If not, listen, life happens. We all know
Yes,
we're
I
parenting
am
children in
available.
District 75.
I was looking for
Wonderful.
information on the date for January. I believe it's January 26th on Monday.
Wonderful. So let's look out for that so we can continue to support. As always, our our committee meetings are open to the public. If you would like to join and continue this work with us, please let us know and email ccd75safety
I would like
at
to say a
gmail.
few words. Thank you.
I had one, and I don't mean to bother. I had one other question for Mr. Rocco that came to mind very last
Oh,
minute.
sure. And then Vice President Chair Bonilla, I'm going to go ahead and give the floor back to you so you'll be able to close out the meeting, timestamp, etc. Continue.
Hi, Mr. Rocco.
Hi.
Councilmember Rivera. Yes, so I wanted to know something else too with the grease fires, right? I know sometimes, or even with appliances, right? Sometimes you leave appliances plugged in and they have gone on fire and stuff like that. That was something that came to mind. So can you advise with like stuff like that with like appliances, right? I know there's been cases where even phone chargers have caught fire, like they overheat, people leave the phone on the bed, and just even the grease fires with the appliances. Can you like touch on that?
Well, definitely the first thing is buy a quality product and keep it clean. I've been to many fires where their appliances, their cooking utensils are covered with grease. A clean kitchen is a safer kitchen. Keep everything clean. If your toaster oven goes on fire, if your oven goes on fire, once again, fire is a breathing, living thing. If your microwave goes on fire, we want to deprive it of oxygen. Many fires burn themselves out once they eat up all that oxygen. People, they have a grease fire in the oven. What do they want to do? They want to open up the oven and leave it open and allow it to, all the smoke to come out, allow it to eat up more oxygen, get bigger and bigger. If you have an appliance on fire, the microwave, the stove, the toaster oven, keep it closed. Once again, it may burn itself out. We don't always want to rely on that it's going to burn itself out. So don't hesitate to call 911. We want to get the troops rolling. But if you're able, something like a toaster oven, if you're able to pull it away from the wall a little without getting burnt, we're going to do that, keep it away. If we could unplug it without getting hurt further, or possibly shut the breaker off, if you know where the electrical panel is, we're going to shut off the breaker for that outlet. The big thing is keep it clean and keep the doors closed. The microwave, been to many microwave fires. People put metal in the microwaves. Don't put metal in the microwaves. Many of my microwave fires have actually been something as simple as popcorn. It's in there too long. Now the paper goes on fire and the microwave is on fire. Once again, what do people want to do? They want to open up the microwave. They want to pull a popcorn out of the microwave, leave it in there, leave the door shut. Chances are it'll burn itself out. Once again, maybe pull it off the wall a little bit so it doesn't catch anything on fire. And do not hesitate to call 911. It is a fire. We will respond. We'll make sure that little fire does not get any bigger. Once again, fires tend to double in size every 30 seconds. Get the troops there. Let the professionals, do their thing.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rocco. I'm very grateful. And again, I'm just very appreciative for the work you do. My
Thank you for the
family, we
support.
also have somebody in the FDNY as well, my older cousin, Paula Grandier. He passed from a 9/11 related cancer, but he was with the fire
Oh, she
engine
was.
235.
Yeah,
Yes, in
I work
Brooklyn.
with a young lady from 235, and I also work with a gentleman that was promoted at a 235. Very good company.
Nice. Yes,
Awesome.
my fondest childhood memories was visiting 235.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was born and
And
raised Brooklyn. I'm in East Harlem now, but I'm a Brooklyn girly.
yeah. And I'm sorry, what was his name?
Yes, Paula Grandier.
Grandy. Yeah. I have a coworker, and I will ask her if she worked with him.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's my cousin.
yeah, she probably got there in 1985, I believe, and did 20 years over there.
Yes, many of my family were present. Yes.
Very good.
Thank you so much again. I'm very grateful for you, and I admire the work you do. Thank you, Mr. Rocco.
Appreciate the support. It makes that job easier. Appreciate yourself and all who put this together, and appreciate you guys for being here. Stay safe always. Enjoy the holidays. Be extra careful. And if you need us, give us a call. We'll be happy to come to your senior center, your school, wherever you might be. We'll get over there, set up a table, talk to the people, hand out literature, answer questions, whatever you need. So thank you very much.
Happy holidays.
You too, guys.
We have one more hand up for
Sure.
Motuma, and then we'll do our closing.
Okay.
Hi, good evening. Thank
Good
you so
evening.
much, Mr. Rocco. It's very informative information
you.
that you provided today. Really appreciate it. This is Council Member Masuma Akhtar.
Hello.
I just had a quick question regarding, for example, if one of my extension cord doesn't work, or something that I want to dispose of, how do I dispose it, like unwanted electronic items?
So electronic items, they have every spring they have a recycle event one in each borough. Every fall they have a recycling event, one in each borough. So contact your local sanitation man, find out when those dates are. It is possible that if you see your sandman on the street, maybe he could take it back to the depot for you prior to that event. But the main way to do it is those recycling events every spring, every fall. Look for those events. You bring all your electronics, your recyclables, and that's the proper way to do it.
All right. Thank you so much.
You
Thank you so
got
much
it.
for the information. And thank you, Ms. Bonilla, for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you as well, Councilmember Masuma. Now, thank you again. I would just like to thank Captain Jerry Rocco on being with our families and school communities tonight, and for the dedication to our communities and the information provided to empower us and be more informed and confident in our homes and in our school and our schools safe. So thank you again for joining us, and we will sure reach out again to see if we could do a in person.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
No problem. Have a good one.
Okay, you two guys, happy holidays and stay safe always.
And
we are now releasing interpreters at 6:58 p.m. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Again, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.